Welcome to Okaloosa Island. Is Okaloosa Island hard to get to? Can you swim year-round? What do prices look like for houses and condos here? I'll answer these questions and so much more because in today's video we'll be unboxing Okaloosa Island. Okaloosa Island is an 875-acre parcel on Santa Rosa Island with 3 miles of Gulf frontage. I think that a lot of people who don't live around coastal areas think of an island as a small, isolated, remote piece of land far away from the mainland. Okaloosa Island is nothing like that. It's more like a narrow, long strip of land that connects Fort Walton Beach to Destin. The 2 bridges that can get you there are toll-free, and they are at the south end of Fort Walton Beach or the west side of Destin, so it's not at all hard to get to. If you're flying into VPS, the Destin Fort Walton Beach Airport, which is not at all in Destin, but is in Fort Walton Beach right by Eglin Air Force Base, you'd be looking at about a 20-minute ride to your hotel or condo on Okaloosa Island, and that depends greatly on during what time of year you're visiting. And speaking of what time of year to visit, while we do get our fair share of snowbirds here in the winter months, our busy tourist season is basically when the kids are out of school, spring break and summer. It's generally more family-oriented visitors. If your traveling schedule isn't dependent upon children, my recommendation would be to visit in October. It's my favorite time of year here for a few reasons. Tourist season wraps up around the middle to end of August, so there are far fewer people here and traffic to deal with. The intense heat and humidity of the summer months has diminished by October, and it's much more pleasant to spend time outside. Also, the cooling of the water temperature always lags behind the cooling air temperature, so the water is still warm enough to go in at that time. Are you able to swim here all year? Of course, temperature is subjective to each person, but I would say no. To me, swimming months here are May, June, July, August, September, and October. The water temperature stays in the mid-70s to even high 80s during that time. From November to April, water temperatures are generally in the 60s, sometimes hitting the low 70s, and even getting as cold as down into the 50s at times. With that being said, yes, I have seen people in the water during the winter months. I can pretty much guarantee they are not locals. How do you access the beaches on Okaloosa Island? Well, if you're staying in a condo or hotel on the island, you'll most likely have access right from where you're staying. If you're staying elsewhere and are driving to the island, there are 7 public beach accesses on Santa Rosa Boulevard. Do not park at a condominium parking lot and go to the beach. If they catch you, you will be towed. What a hassle that can be, and it can be rather expensive. There is no charge for parking at these public beach accesses. There's not a ton of parking spaces at these, so during tourist season, they do tend to fill up quickly. During the off-season, parking is not a problem. And here's a bonus tip. The last beach access, number 7, has far more parking spots than the preceding ones. And of course, there are some rules to follow at the beach. These access points close 1 hour after sunset and open back up about an hour before sunrise. And don't leave your vehicle there after hours because it will either be locked in or more than likely will be towed away. Rules of the beach. No fire, no glass. Main concern here is to not have glass bottles on the beach. No animals. The beaches are not pet friendly. No overnight camping. I believe these rules have been updated since I used to go to the beach a lot when I lived on the island. Like this one says, no smoking, vaping, alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Now I never saw weapons on the beach, but let's just say some things may be enforced more than others. I'll leave it at that. And no fireworks. We don't want to blow people up and leave a mess on the beach. Basically, just act right. If you see any baby sea turtles, just let them be, don't harass them. Stay off the sand dunes. It can disrupt the vegetation, which helps keep the sand dunes together, and it helps protect us from storm surges. And for some reason, they don't want people fighting, using profanity, or acting disorderly. And this one is new to me. No sound amplification. I don't know how strict they are about that, but just use common sense and be respectful to your neighbors on the beach. This is something new here, the borrow bin. I like this idea. If you're traveling light and could use some beach toys that people left here, you're free to use them, and if you purchase some beach toys here that you don't want to take home, you can leave them for others to use and enjoy. The public beach accesses have water spigots to rinse off your feet and beach gear and whatnot, and shower heads to rinse off your body. There are also a few places to access the beach from Miracle Strip Parkway, Highway 98. There's the boardwalk area, which does have a lot of parking, and a little farther down from there is John Beasley Park, which has about 200 parking spots. If you would prefer the calmer waters not on the Gulf side, There are a couple places on the sound side. There's the Gulf Islands National Seashore and Ross Marler Park. So what is there to do on Okaloosa Island besides enjoying the beautiful white sand beaches? Well, there's the boardwalk with a handful of restaurants. Of course, you can find some seafood and enjoy a beautiful view of the Gulf. Some places do have live music. There are a handful of shops, a lot of clothing, but also a kite shop, which is really cool. The Okaloosa Island Pier is there, which is a popular place for fishing. The adult fishing pass is $8 a day, or if you want to go out there and watch people fish or simply enjoy the view, it'll cost you $2 for the day. There's the Gulf Area Marine Adventure Park. Here you can see a dolphin show, a sea lion show, reptiles, and all kinds of other marine life. There's Wild Willie's Adventure Zone. They have go-karts, they have a virtual reality experience, there are bumper boats, they have urban assault laser tag, there is mini golf, there's a 4D movie experience, they have reverse bungee trampolines, and they have the Treetop Challenge if you want to balance yourself on ropes 60 feet above the ground like these people are doing. I personally will pass on the rope balancing. Another place to visit is the Okaloosa National Mini Golf with two 18-hole mini golf courses and a selection of 23 ice cream flavors to choose from. If you're traveling by RV, there's an RV park, the Destin West RV Resort, and they have about 50 spots for recreational vehicles to set up there. And if you're one of those people who never leave home without your kayak, there is the newly renovated public boat basin. It's located on the south side of Santa Rosa Boulevard, so you'd be launching into the calmer waters of the Sound, not the waves of the Gulf side. The facility has public parking, an ADA-compliant kayak launch, and a dock where boaters can tie up to during the day. Now, it's not a full boat launch. If you're already boating in the water, you could tie up there, but you are able to launch a kayak there. Are all these places within walking distance? Probably not. Of course, it depends where you're staying and where you're trying to get to, and how much you enjoy walking in the summer when it's 90 degrees and 98% humidity.